Start.
So, my dear students, today we are doing the another one experiment from the instrumentation, that is determination of pKa value by using pH meter. So here first the question is arising, what is pKa? So pKa, it measures the strength of an acid. So it is a negative log Ka. pKa is equal to negative log to the base 10 Ka, where Ka is a dissociation constant of an acid. And today we are using one of the weak acid, that is acetic acid, CS3COOH. So it is a weak acid. And another one question is arising, what is weak acid? So weak acid is the one which ionizes partially, which dissociates incompletely, is called as a weak acid. And by using the pH meter, today we are determining the pKa. And another one question is arising, that is what is pH? pH, it is a negative logarithm to the base 10 of hydrogen ion concentration. So using the pH meter, so we are determining the pH value of the acid, and by taking the reading as well as by taking somewhat the other calculation, that is finding the delta pH, delta V as well as delta pH by delta V value. So we are plotting the graph. So in this experiment we are plotting two graphs. One is pH against volume of NaOH, what you are adding the NaOH solution from the burette. So that is on the x-axis and the pH on y-axis. And similarly, another one graph, so you are plotting, that is delta pH by delta V. So that is taking over the y-axis and volume of NaOH along the x-axis. So this is the pH meter, and this is also sometimes it is using to find out the potential of somewhat in another one experiment, that is FAS. So here there is a slight change for using the pH meter as well as potentiometer. So this is the one of the button. So here it is not actually pressed, and hence that will be acting as a pH meter. Suppose if you press this button, so that will be acting as a potentiometer. And we are doing the room temperature, and hence this temperature knob, so which is fixed to 25 degrees Celsius. And this is the another one button. So if you are releasing, so that will be in the standby mode, means the value which do not get changed. When you press it, so you can read the reading as well as whatever the solutions, so which are adding from the burette to the beaker, so values are get changing. So hence so you can read it easily by pressing this button. And this is the another one knob. So this is using to calibrate the instrument. So here the calibration, it is already done by using pH tablet 7 as well as a pH tablet 4. So there is a small the calibration, so which can be done by using these two tablets. And for this experiment, so we need acetic acid. So 25 ml of acetic acid is already pipetted by using the pipette. So this is the pipette, you know it. So using this one, so we already pipetted about 25 ml of acetic acid, and using the same pipette, so another 25 ml of distilled water. So distilled water, so which is added to this beaker, and to the burette. So this is the microburette. So here we are added 0.5 normal NaOH solution. So it is microburette. So you in this, so you can fill only about 10 ml of NaOH solution. And in this experiment, we are using the electrode assemble. So this is the combined electrode, and in this, so one is a glass electrode and another one is a calomel electrode. So it is a combined electrode. So the questions are arising: what is a glass electrode as well as what is the calomel electrode? So first, I'd like to explain the glass electrode. So this is also called as a ion selective electrode. So ion selective electrode role, so that will interact with the specific ion. So that will select the specific ion from the solution. So that is H plus ion from the solution. It will interact only with the H plus ion and select the number of H plus ions so which are present in the sample. So while all the rest of the remaining ions, so that will be not detected by this glass electrode. And the another one electrode, that is calomel electrode, it is called as a reference electrode. Why it is called as a reference electrode? Because whose standard reduction potential value we know, that is 0.2422 volt. So here the glass electrode, that will be acting as an indicator electrode, and calomel electrode, that will be act as a reference electrode. And the indicator electrode, that is glass electrode, that will be acts as an anode in this experiment, while the calomel electrode, that will be acts as a cathode. So initially it was immersed in the distilled water. Now I have already pipetted 25 ml of acetic acid and 25 ml of distilled water in another one beaker. Now I just introducing this electrode assemble in the acetic acid, and I just shake the solution along with the beaker and electrode, and so you can see the initial pH value, it's 2.98. Fluctuation that may arise due to somewhat the voltage fluctuation. So you can see it is changed to 3.73 when it is without the addition of NaOH. Okay, so we must take this reading also in the tabular column. When the volume of NaOH is 0, so it is a 3.74. And now we have to add the NaOH solution from the microburette to this beaker in a 0.5 increment way. Okay, not exactly 1 ml, so 0.5 ml. And stir the solution. Just shake the beaker along with the along with the electrode. So gradually the pH is increasing. So now for 0.5 ml it is 4.29. Now increasing another 0.5 ml to the same acid solution, they are adding up another 0.5 ml of NaOH solution from the burette into the same beaker, and the pH value, so which get changed to 4.58. Now adding about 1.5 means another 0.5 ml. So you are adding, stir the solution, and now it's get changed to 4.778. Now increase to 2 ml, that is another 0.5 ml to this acetic acid we are added. Now the pH, it is get changed to 4.95. Now adding 2.5 ml of NaOH solution into the beaker. Shake the solution thoroughly. And now you can see for 2.5 ml of NaOH it is 5.13. The pH value is 5.13. Now I am increasing another 0.5 ml. So total volume of NaOH added to this solution, it becomes 3 now. And you can see the change in pH value, that is 5.31. So now 3.5 ml is get added. Once again the pH value, which is increased to 5.53. Now one more time, so I am adding 0.5 ml of NaOH solution. Total volume of NaOH added to this beaker becomes 4 ml. For 4 ml addition of NaOH, now the pH value is 5.83. Now increasing another 0.5 ml. Total volume of NaOH becomes 4.5. Shake the solution. For 4.5 ml of NaOH, now the pH value becomes 6.21. Now from 4.5 to 5 ml, increasing another 0.5 ml of NaOH. This is the solution. Now it is increased to 6.63. 6.63. Now adding another 0.5, total volume of NaOH becomes 5.5 ml. So you can see added 6 ml. For 6 ml it is a 9.02. For 6.5 ml 9.44, and now I'm adding another 0.5 ml of NaOH, the volume of NaOH added to this beaker, it becomes 7. For 7 ml of NaOH, we got 9.72, increasing another 0.5 increment of NaOH solution. For 7.5 ml of NaOH, so we got 9.74. For 8 ml addition of NaOH, the pH value now becomes 10.01. Okay, 10 point. It reduces now. Actually, it becomes 9.90. 9.90 for 8 ml addition, and now adding 8.5. It becomes 10.00, and for 9 ml it becomes 10.28. It is 10 point, I think it is increasing, 10.38. For 9.5 ml of NaOH addition, the pH value becomes 10.66. And lastly, for 10 ml addition of NaOH, we got 10 point. Okay, 10.70, so it earlier came. So now you can see the pH value from starting without the addition of NaOH. So we observed it is a 3.74, and gradually it is increased by the addition of NaOH in a 0.5 increment way, and somewhere at the middle of the titration, that is around 5.5 ml of NaOH, so there was a sudden abrupt change in the pH value, suddenly changed to 6 ml addition of NaOH, so from 7 to 9, and thereafter from 6.5 to 10 ml, so gradually, slightly, so the pH value which is get increased. So why this sudden abrupt change at 6 ml addition? At 6 ml addition, so which is happened. So because the weak acid to this, when we were added NaOH solution, so gradually the weak acid, so which forms a very less number of hydrogen ions because of that incomplete dissociation of weak acid, and the reaction so that takes place between the weak acid and the strong base, acetic acid and NaOH, so it will be gradually forms sodium acetate as a salt as well as water molecule. So here at 6 ml addition, all the weak acid, so which is completely neutralized by the NaOH solution, which is completely neutralized by the NaOH solution and formed the sodium acetate as a salt and water molecule. And due to that, so there was a sudden abrupt change in the pH value, so which is happened, and after that the pH value, so which is continuously increased due to the excess amount of NaOH solution. So from that the hydroxyl ion, so that is the responsible ion, so that was increases the pH value. So whatever, so after the 6 ml, so we are added to that acetic acid up to 10 ml. So this pH increment, so it is due to the hydroxyl ion from the NaOH solution. And as we know, the one of the formula, that is according to Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, so pH is equal to pKa plus log salt by acid, and at half equivalence point, so we will get later when we plot the graph, that is the pH against volume of NaOH. At half equivalence point, salt is equal to acid, so therefore pH is equal to pKa plus log in the bracket 1. As we know, log 1 becomes 0 and hence pH is equal to pKa. Thus at half equivalence point, pH of weak acid is equal to its pKa. So in this way, so we are finding the pKa value. Suppose if 6 is the neutralization point and we are considering as a equivalence point here, okay, so this is the equivalence point 6 ml, and when it is considering as a half equivalence, so half of this value becomes, it is 3. So for 3 ml, so the value of pH is 5.31, and according to this equation, so pH is equal to pKa. So this pH value 5.31 is equal to the pKa value, and the same value, so you will be getting, so in this graph, in this both graph, so initially in the first one graph, so you are getting the equivalence point, and in the second one graph, so you are getting the half equivalence point, and there, so you can determine the pKa value, and the value what obtaining, so that will be the same value. So what here we find out. So here there is some calculation, so you need to be done over in this tabular column. So for delta pH, the initial value for 0, I will kept as a 0 here, and delta V is also considering as a 0. And here how to find out this delta pH. So subtract this high value from the low value. So 4.29 minus 3.74. So how much it becomes? 5. 11 minus 7, so it becomes 4, and here 3 minus 3, so that becomes 0.45. So similarly, subtract this 4.52 value from the previous one value. Okay, 4.52 minus 4.29. So here it is 9 and 2. Now it becomes 0.29. So like that, so you have to subtract high value from the previous one, that is a low value. So in that way, so you have to take this pH value, and similarly delta V value, so this is the V, this is the V value. So delta V, so it is also the difference between the two value. 0.5 is the high value, so 0.5 minus previous one, it is 0. So what about this one? It becomes 0.5. And now, so 1 ml you are added, but in the previous 1, so you are added 0.5 ml. So subtract 1 in that 0.5, and once again the value becomes 0.5. So here every time you are increased in the increment of 0.5 ml addition. So hence whatever the difference you are getting, so it is always 0.5. So once after knowing these two values, delta pH and delta V, so you can find out delta pH by delta V by dividing this delta pH value by the delta V value. So once after getting this value, so you can able to plot the one of the graph, that is delta pH by delta V on the y-axis and volume of NaOH on the x-axis side. So you will be getting one of peak, so that is a sudden abrupt in the pH value that will indicated, and it is due to the the neutralization, and that point is considering as a equivalence point. So that will be noted in this graph. And in the another one graph, so that is already we obtained somewhat the pH value by the instrument, and this pH value is taken over the y-axis, and volume of NaOH is taken over the x-axis. So there you will be finding a S-shape curve. So once after knowing the equivalence point in the first graph, so here half of this value over the x-axis, so you will be finding, and later when it is joined towards the curve and next towards the y-axis, so there, so you will be getting a pH value, and according to that Henderson-Esselstyn equation, so at half equivalence of this graph, so pH becomes pKa. So whatever the pH value, so you will be obtaining over the y-axis, so that will be considering as a pKa value, and so that is the dissociation constant of that acetic acid. So I will show